Hi Niharika, how are you?
Hi, I'm great.
Alright, so again, same question, but then this time we'll do it differently. You are Niharika, your complete name?
Niharika Sood.
Sood?
Yes.
Alright, and you're from?
I'm from Shimla in Himachal.
Really?
Yes.
So you don't know Telugu?
No, not yet.
I was assuming that you know Telugu.
No, I'm trying to learn actually these days. So
Do you know Telugu anything like till now, whatever you have learned?
Yes, like
What is it?
Kuncham Kuncham.
Okay, koncham koncham. Okay.
And Ella Unau
Okay.
is how are you?
Right. You're getting there. You're getting
Yes,
there.
I'm
Yeah, all the
getting
best for
there.
that.
Thank
But then I didn't know that you're from Shimla. I mean Himachal Shimla. But tell me about Himachal Shimla. I mean I've been there.
Yeah.
It's very famous, and then obviously famous for all the good reasons. I love what we consume there on the mountains. But apart from that, please tell me how's Shimla like?
Yeah, it's a tourist place and the weather is really cool. So if you love snowfall, it's a great place to visit.
Right.
And I've grown up in the hills, so it's been kind of difficult. I would say like living in the hills is not so easy. Like we don't have like Ola, Uber, Swiggy,
Right,
Zomato,
right.
none of that.
Right.
So we have to like keep our resources with us. So I mean, it was tough, but it was nice.
Right. How long has it been for you to, like, when was the last time you visited Shimla?
I do visit home like every year, once a year.
So your parents are there?
Yes, my parents are still
Oh,
there.
wow. Wow. So tell me the beauty of its traditions, or something that's different than that of Hyderabad.
It's very different from Hyderabad. The lifestyle is very slow, slow living, and people
Right.
are like very, they walk a lot because of the transportation situation.
Right,
so
right.
It's
The infrastructure
very,
is not that
small
good.
town
Right.
situation.
Right. And how was it for you to be there, and then you have been into VIT, right? That's your college.
Yes.
So did you move out of Shimla because of college?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. So
Right.
I had my education there. I was there till +2, and then for college I directly moved to Tamil Nadu. So that was a whole cultural
Yeah, that's
shock.
like from north completely to south.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was it? How was the transition?
It was different. Like I wasn't expecting it would be that different because I was always like cocooned up in the north in Shimla. I wasn't aware of Tamil Nadu at all. I hadn't even visited.
Right.
So it was very difficult in terms of weather conditions because it was so hot all of a sudden.
Right.
And college was not easy. I would say it was like pretty tough. Like VIT is like pretty tough.
Right? Really?
Yes.
I thought VIT people, they enjoy, they don't?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Not
okay.
much. Tamil Nadu is a conservative place, so we had a lot of rules and regulations, and also because of the place Vellore, it's like not so developed, so it's only famous because of the college.
Right.
So outside the premises, there's nothing much you can do. Go outside. So
Oh, okay.
yes,
Okay.
but inside college, it's fun. Like you get to meet so many different people from all over India and make friends and those friends I feel stay for life. So
Right.
yes.
I was actually planning to come to VIT as well.
Oh.
But I'm not. How old do you think I am?
I have no idea. In your 20s, like 20, 27.
Oh my God! You think I'm that old?
I'm not
I
sure.
have to go to the dermatologist now because I'm not that old. I'm 21.
21?
Yeah.
I couldn't have guessed that, honestly. I
Okay.
couldn't.
All right. I'm kidding. I'm not 21. I'm 20.
Oh my god.
Okay.
You got me.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm 24. Honestly,
thank
but
God,
but
okay.
yeah, I mean, I think we are of same age. If I'm not wrong, I use the same.
I'm 27.
We are editing that part. No girl is ever old. She's always 19. So I'll edit that part.
I'm
but yes,
18.
sorry.
I'm 18.
Yeah, she is 18, and I'm vouching for it. Yeah. So Niharika, first things first. I understand you have been in Himachal, and then now you are in Hyderabad, but then before you were in Tamil Nadu. I think that's the first exposure. Was it the first time you came out of Himachal?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Right. And was it hard for you to live? Like, how was it?
In VIT?
Yeah. I mean, not just
was-
VIT, but apart from Himachal, when you moved out, how was it? And did you like come by a train or by a
I
flight?
took a flight
Okay.
to Chennai first because that's where the admissions were happening in the Chennai campus. So I went there.
But
with
why
my brother.
VIT? How did you come to choose VIT?
So I've always been a nerd. Like when I was growing up, I have always been into books. So even when I went on vacations, I used to like carry my books with me, and my parents were like, "Leave this." Like
I
what
used
are
to
you
do the
doing?
same thing actually. I used to carry books as well, but never read.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I used to take my bag along with me, but I never read.
Yeah. I didn't read that much, but I still used to try. Like, but I've always been a nerd. So then I took non-medical, and then obviously I was trying for engineering, IIT, and all that. But it was really tough, honestly. And I was good at scoring marks, but I didn't crack IIT. So obviously, like, I didn't want to take a break. I didn't want to like sit around for another year. So I got admission in VIT, which was like pretty good in the rankings. So I was pretty excited. I was also excited to move out from my place because like it would be different. Like my parents won't be around for the first time in my life. So I was honestly kind of excited to like live in a hostel and with my friends. I always wanted to do that. So I was excited. Yeah, my mom was sad that I'm leaving, but I was like, everything's cool. Like we can always video call and
Right.
yeah.
And thanks to Jio, right? It just opened several windows for video calling.
Right.
Thanks, Mukesh Ambani. But having said that, I just want to understand, of course, you're moving out for the first time. You've moved out, and then there will be certain, just like your mom was sad and all of that.
Yeah.
But then I also want to understand, how's your relationship with your parents back then and even now?
I think we're a very close-knit family. Like we talk very often, and like it's like I feel they're like kind of my support system. They've always been, and I love how they've always like encouraged me to be independent, which is I feel very important. So yes,
right. Are they proud of you as of now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, all right. We'll get there. The journey. So you are a model as of now, right? Is that what I can call you, or is there some other terminology that you would want me to?
Model is
a model. Okay. So you're modeling, and then I'm sure India, and then lots of questions and lots of things happens when you're actually starting your career in terms of modeling. So I want to understand, how is it for you?
Starting out modeling, so I've always been interested in modeling. Like when I was a kid, I have an elder brother, so we used to play, like he was interested in photography, so he used to have this camera and he used to be like, model for some random product. Like he'll give me a remote and he'll be like, model this, and he used to click pictures. Yeah, that's how we used to play. So it was so much fun, like growing up.
You really played some cool games. I'll tell you what I played. I don't know, I was playing in sand, making houses and stuff like that. Wow, you had better games than me.
We also used to do these choreographies, like when my cousins used to visit, we used to choreograph this dance and then like do a performance for all the elders. Did you do that?
No, I think I was forced to. I remember one time when my father made me dance in front of like 50 to 60 relatives.
Oh my god.
And I don't know, it was for 50 rupees, so I thought it's a good deal. He just told, I'll pay you, but I'm telling you, my father did not give me that money.
Oh, damn.
Even now. Yeah, he just betrayed me for some reason. But then I danced, and I have the video. I'll probably showcase it someday to the audience. I'm not going to, but then yeah, it was very difficult back then. I don't know, your parents just force you to do certain things, but did your parents used to force to do certain things like dance or sing?
Like we were so enthusiastic about it. Like me and my cousins, we used to like legit prepare like choreographies or a play even, and like we used to like make them sit and perform. I think like it was more of a torture for the elders.
Oh, okay.
Because we kids were enjoying, to be honest.
Right. I was forced to, but then we see in Himachal, there are lots of impromptu dances, like, whenever there's a wedding and all of that. So I want to understand, how's the wedding there?
The wedding there, I think, is very different. I haven't attended like a proper Himachali wedding till now, but they have different kind of music. It's called Pahari music, and a different kind of dance. It's called Pahari Nati. So it's very different and very cultural. The people there they believe in God a lot. So yes.
Are you religious?
I think I'm spiritual and not so religious. Like I won't visit temples. I do visit temples with my family and all, but I feel like if I meditate and talk to myself and all of that is more beneficial to me.
Okay, all right. That sounds perfect. But tell me about this journey of yours from not being religious, because of course when you are in a family that is religious, you most often times it's a given that you also have to be that, right? But then you say that you're spiritual. So why not religious? Why spiritual? So why do you think you're not religious?
So growing up, like my family is really religious. We used to like have these annual trips to Vaishno Devi,
Right. Oh, okay.
and yeah, my parents always visit temples whenever we are like traveling. So if there's a temple around, they would love to visit, and I used to tag along. So I used to like it, but I always used to question it, like because temples tend to be so crowded. There's so many people, and it's like you get a glimpse of the idol and you just move along. So I used to
Right.
feel like. What is it like? Why are we doing this? Like, there's so much struggle. Like in Vaishno Devi, you have to climb a lot on top of the mountain to visit and everything. So then once I started questioning it and I grew older, I started like reading about it. So I understood what it's all about. So I feel now it's more about the energy in the temples. There are high frequency zones.
Right.
So when you go there, you're in a higher frequency than usual. So if you're praying for something, it'll manifest faster for you.
You did a lot of research.
Yeah, I'm really into it. I love reading about it, watching videos about all this.
All right. I get it. So what books are you reading currently as of now?
Currently, unfortunately, I'm not reading any book. I hate to say that because I love to read. When I used to read, it used to be spiritual, personal development, and something related to science, like biology or psychology. I'm also interested in that. So, and I love to know about the human body. So I used to read books about the DNA and everything.
DNA, RNA, mitochondria.
Yes. And I used to be like mind blown. Like the more I got to know about our body, the more it blew my mind that oh my god, like all this is happening without us being aware of it.
Correct.
That's like
Correct. Like even right now that we're talking.
Yes. I love
It's I'll be very honest, when we talk about models, we believe that of course she's a model and then she's all about beauty. She might know about makeup. She might know how to walk on a ramp and all of that, but we don't expect this kind of conversations to come in from her. And then it's a very enthusiastic and curious. I'd ask you a biology question. Let me see if you can answer it.
Okay, sure.
No, I'm kidding. It's not KGC. All right. So I really want to understand how were you as a kid. I get it a little bit that you were very active. That's something that I've got to know since you are making sure that the choreography is being done and then your cousins are getting into it. But I want to understand how were you as a kid. Were you like naughty? Were you like silent? Or were you like this, always smiling? Because it's making me nervous actually, because it's just that you are laughing and I don't know how to put my face as in, because I don't want to be a very contrary face or something. But then how are you managing this?
I used to laugh a lot as a kid, to be honest. Like I was crazy. I used to laugh a lot, have a lot of fun, and also study a lot. Like I feel half of my childhood was spent studying, like with books. I used to be like literally reading something always, and rest of the time I wasn't naughty. I don't think so. I've never like.
Are you always like this, laughing, like smiling?
Yes, like default. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, never been naughty and been an introvert growing up.
So no mischievous things when you were a kid?
No, I don't think.
You never troubled your parents?
No, I didn't want to.
Okay. Nothing trouble, like you did not trouble anyone in the school as well?
No, in school.
Did you ever have fights with your friends?
No.
You missed out on
drama,
things. But I'm sure you would have enough drama in VIT.
In VIT? No, I think I've always been away from drama. Like I don't even like indulge in it.
Right.
So I made friends with like 2-3 people who also happen to be my roommates, and like they are like still my friends. So I feel like because I don't like interact with so many people, there's not so much drama, and the people I'm close with, they understand me, they know me. So
right. And how about the guys in VIT? Did they like try to hit on you or something?
Yes,
of course. Right. Yeah. And how would you react to it? What was your how's your process reacting? Or
I mean, it was new to me because till plus 2 I had been in an all-girls school, so I didn't have that much exposure with like men in general in my life. Like also most of my cousins are
when
like
you were
sisters.
18, when you're in like 12, we are not men yet, we are just boys.
Boys.
So it's like very different kind of.
Like
I think there's lots of difference between a man and a boy.
Yes.
So yeah.
So yeah, I had a very minimal exposure to boys back then, and once I moved to VIT, like I realized like they're very different. Like
please elaborate different.
Very different. I feel they're like less mature than girls, to be honest.
Of course,
like pretty careless. but nice, like fun energy. They know how to have fun and everything. So yeah, they did hit on me, and all of that did happen in college as usual. So that was fine. Like I didn't know how to handle it, so I feel I did break some hearts, but because I didn't know how to handle it properly. But now I think I'm better.
Yeah. Was there any guy who cried over you? Please be honest. Like, please, Niharika, I need you, I want you. Like, did this happen to you? It did?
Yes.
Okay. It did. All right. So, VIT, I'm sure it was fun.
Yes.
Right. But then after VIT, you started your modeling, right? The
Yes.
career, or did you do a job or something? Like, how was it for you? Like, from VIT to modeling, how was it, and how much did you score in VIT?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was 9-pointer in VIT.
Oh my God! Why are you so studious?
I was. Yes.
Okay.
So, and also I did have some fun, like when we used to go on trips and all. And modeling started because I started collaborating with photography club people in college just for fun, because I remember one of my friends had this competition for photography, and he asked me if I could be a model for him, and I said okay, sure, why not. And that's how it started. Then a lot of people started asking me for collaborations, but it wasn't that easy because the college had a lot of rules and restrictions, especially like when it comes to clothing. We weren't allowed a lot of things, and I couldn't like be a fashionista in college. So but still it helped me build my portfolio and build my skills as a model. And then I got my first job in Hyderabad after college. That was a placement that I got, and that's how I moved to Hyderabad. And I also got my first paid project once I moved to Hyderabad. It was back in 2019. So then it started commercially for me. I started earning from it. So I was so excited that that's happening.
Right. And from there, your Instagram speaks, right? From there, the journey. I've actually been through lots of it, and I'm like amazed. But then I just want to understand, since you're a model, and I rarely get a chance to talk to models, but then I really want to understand, when you go to a shoot or when you select a project, how that happens to you? Like how does it happen to you, right from selecting the project to actually thinking whether it's good for you or not, and then lots of things, right? You have to plan it out and all of that. So in the early stages, do you have that privilege of selecting the projects, or do you just go to whatever project you're getting into? And how's the process from there, from selecting that to shooting, and then finally seeing yourself into billboards and all of that?
Okay, that's a really lengthy question. So to start off, I don't think like models have a lot of privilege to select what they want to do. Obviously there's a certain criteria, like if you want to do western looks, ethnic, bikini, it's up to you. You can select and choose, but I would say like if you're not even getting paid a lot, it would still help you to do a shoot, to build your portfolio. It will give you more practice. So initially, you just take shoots, whatever you're getting, so not much choice there. But once you've made an impact, you have a face value. More people start reaching out to you because they love your skills, and that's how you grow in the industry. And then,
I really am sorry to interrupt, but I really love the way that you've put the word skill instead of using any other terms, because most of the time when it comes to modeling, we think that it's only about looks. It's only about the face, how do you look, and how do you, as I don't know what kind of things that you say, but then it's mostly about looks. But then people don't understand that modeling is not about just looks, it's also about how you carry yourself, it's about your attitude, it's about your mind as well. Lots of modeling actually comes from what you think. Right, so I think that's like very important. I really love the fact that you have put it there. But yes, continue. So you, as a beginner model, you don't have much much choices, but then you make your own choices, and then once you build your portfolio, you have great pictures that you can showcase to other brands, and they start reaching out to you once you've built a good portfolio. Right.
And then you start having the privilege to choose which project you want to take, which you don't want to take, which brands you want to work with. Do you want to be exclusive to premium brands, or do you want to
freelance?
Freelance, yes. So that's different. If you want to freelance or join an agency, modeling agencies are also a really good approach if you're starting out, because they'll give you projects that you might not get otherwise.
All right. But I feel. And how does that happen? How does that contract happen? Let's say I'm a new model. I'm just assuming I'm very handsome and all of that. So let's say I want to start modeling. How do I approach?
So first step is to build your portfolio. You have to contact some photographers whose work you like and you would like to work with. Get a portfolio in different kind of looks. that you can carry, that you feel you're good at. And once you have that, you can start sending it out to different agencies that you want to work with. You can do your research.
Like cold emails?
Sorry?
Like emailing directly to them?
Emailing, yes.
Okay.
That's the best approach. So they have your portfolio, and then agencies are really happy to have fresh faces on board. So they reach out to you if they want to onboard you, and then that's a really good way to start out, I feel, because that'll help you get really good projects in the starting of your career, which usually doesn't happen.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Niharika, first things first is India, it's like the population is almost around 140 crores plus as of now, and then beautiful faces are everywhere. I'm just talking about the faces, there are everywhere. And to be honest, for me, I believe everyone is beautiful in their own way, but at the same time, it depends on what are your interests, right? There are very few people who would want to get into modeling, like the niches, right?
Yes.
So let's say there are these many people who are beautiful. Let's say there are like these many people who want to get into modeling, and there's lots of competition as well, right? When there are these many people. So how, as a career, is it safe for someone to actually pursue modeling? Because there are lots of competition as well. There's lots of ambiguity. As you mentioned, agency is always happy to have a fresh face.
Correct.
So you are replaceable in this market, and things are very ambiguous. So I want to understand, how is it, like, whether is it safe for someone to pursue, and if at all someone is pursuing, should they have a plan B or plan C, plan D? Like, how exactly someone new who wants to approach and knows that this market is very troublesome sometimes, how things happen?
Yes, the market is really volatile here. I would say if you're just starting out and you're not like confident in yourself right now that you will make it, then it's always better to have a plan B, that okay, if not this, I'll do this. Because in the beginning, if you're not getting projects and you've put all your eggs in one basket, then you don't want to be in a place where you're desperate for projects, and then you get involved in some shady stuff. So
does it?
I mean, there are some agents who reach out to you, and you have to be, it's up to you if you want to do projects that don't really align with you, and I don't want anyone to be forced into doing something they're not comfortable with. So if you have a plan B, that will give you more like
confidence
that you can, okay, it's up to you, the choice is on you, it's not like you'll be forced to do something you don't want.
Right. So I want to understand about the shady things that I've mentioned. Is it happening? Because of course you must know that there are lots of things in the media that happens when it comes to media, and then when it comes to modeling, and then lots of our father generation, let's say, they have very preconceived notion about modeling and actress and acting and all of that. There are lots of questions, right, when there are lots of things. So I want to understand, when it comes to modeling, is it really there, and if it's there, how do we know it and how to avoid it, or is it like a voluntary thing or an involuntary thing? How things happen?
When it comes to modeling, I've never had like a bad experience where someone is pretending to be someone else or something like that.
Is it more often that people are pretending, like luring out girls, guys, and
Yes, it's mostly because they want money from you. So they pretend that they'll give you the shoot or something, and they ask you for some registration fee and something like that. So it's mostly because people want money out of them, and then once they have the money, they stop responding. So that's the only shady stuff happening in modeling. Otherwise, the industry is pretty safe. I would say that my experiences have been really good. But I can't say the same about acting. So I've been trying in acting as well, been auditioning, and there I met a few people who impersonate to be a producer or something, because also I'm not so much into Tollywood, so I don't know all these big names, so they would just name drop and say I work with such and such, and I cannot like cross verify it based on my knowledge. So it's easier to impersonate as someone they're not.
To be honest, film industry is pretty unorganized even now. The big banners, they are pretty organized, but other than them, I think it's pretty unorganized. I was also talking to Aditi, who happens to be a producer, and I was talking to her about the industry and how volatile it is, and are the shady stuff happening in the industry as well. And then she also had a say in it, and I believe that maybe we can actually do something better when it comes to organizing these aspects. And I'm sure someone or the other would do it, organizing the aspect, because lots of dupes are happening, lots of problems are going on, and then people are actually losing out on a lot of money, time, as well as sometimes pretty worse things than that as well, right, when it comes to modeling, acting. So I'm pretty sure I can understand where you're coming from. So why acting? Modeling, I understand, great, but then why acting?
So honestly, I'm happy to be a model and it's been going great. But I have been getting offers from Tollywood for some movies and some web series, which are pretty great. So I would love to audition for them and try out, because I'm never afraid of trying out new stuff and see how it goes. I feel it's a great opportunity, and I feel so grateful that it's coming my way. But the blocker is that I don't know Telugu, and the auditions are in Telugu. I have to like have some knowledge, and also the producers, directors here are more comfortable explaining things to you in Telugu. So I should at least be able to understand Telugu.
But then I think
first.
the best of best Tollywood heroines, most of them are from North, right?
Yes, that's what a lot of people tell me. And there used to be dubbing before in the movies, even if they don't know the language. But now the industry is more about
inclusiveness. Like, is it inclusive?
It is inclusive. Yes, they're welcoming new people as well, which I'm really happy about. But it is also a close-knit circle. Like, it's difficult to get into it as an outsider. You need to know the right people, the right casting agents. Like I said, you need to do your research if they are legit or not.
Right. So, if I'd ask you to rate yourself based on your acting, how much would you rate?
Right now, acting I would rate a 7 because I feel there's so much room for improvement, and it'll improve with practice. Like, so did my modeling. I won't say I was like really good at it when I started out, but with so much practice, it keeps on getting better and better.
Did you ever try to femina and all of that, like, anytime?
No, I actually wanted to, but after college, I actually, this pandemic happened. So that was like my time when I was planning to participate in a pageant, but the lockdown pandemic happened, so I couldn't. And then later, actually, Miss India's official page reached out to me on Instagram asking if I would love to participate, and they would love to have me on board. But they had these conditions where obviously they only need single people to participate. Single, not married. And since I already got married, I couldn't. I told them, so I couldn't participate in that.
Really? Is that a condition?
Yes, it was, yes.
Okay, this is like new to me. Yes, this is why I do podcasts actually, because knowledge is always limited and there's always room for knowing things, right? I've never known that there's this condition that you have to be single.
Yes, I would love for them to be more inclusive, to be honest, but
yeah, I know, right? But I also know that there's certain categories as well, right? I think there's Mrs.
Yes, there are other pageants as well, so I'm actually looking forward to
but since you've mentioned, I think it's due time for them to change this condition.
Yes.
Because why not married women, right? I mean, what's wrong in that? I mean, they're still beautiful, they're still intelligent, they know the stuff, they know their stuff, and I guess a married woman is much more mature than a single woman, if I'm not wrong. Am I getting it wrong?
Women are always mature, I feel.
Okay. Yeah, you can say that again. It would be a great one. Yeah,
women are always mature, I feel.
Right. So that goes a slap on my face officially. I'll put it on the record. But yes, women are of course always. But then I also believe that with the stages of your life that you grow, from till 10th, you of course are a little bit certain stuff, but then you grow and grow. And I believe with age comes maturity. Not always. It shouldn't be necessarily always, but then I really believe that with age you get to learn a lot of stuff as well. So that way I've come. But then yes, women are always mature and they're always beautiful, great, amazing people. I love my mom and the kind of things that they share. I think most of my life has been shaped because of these women. My grandma, my ma, and then my Dee. I have a sister as well, elder one. So yeah, I know I've been with them. But having said that, we were talking about your acting, we were talking about your modeling, and then we also spoke about your college, right? But then right now we'll deep dive into your personal life.
Okay.
Right? You told you're married, and I'm sure people do not know this, and many would be heartbroken. But I'm sure people would come and talk to you. They would not think that you're married, right?
Yes, they're actually shocked when I tell them, and they're like, really? So, but yes, so we were dating since college.
Okay.
So it had been a very long time, and since COVID happened, we both went back home, and we used to meet each other on
Went back
weekends.
home. He is from Himachal
He's
as well.
from Chandigarh,
Okay.
and I also have a house in Chandigarh, so I was staying
okay.
there during the lockdown and the pandemic. So
Right.
since we used to meet back then, so our families got to know each other. They also
Right.
interacted, and that kind of escalated things.
Escalated. That's a very
marriage. Like we weren't thinking of getting married, to be honest, like personally. But yeah, since our families got to know each other, they loved each other, and our family loves to party. To be honest, like
Okay.
I feel they just wanted to throw a party, so they're like,
Okay,
why don't
okay.
you guys get married?
It's a very weird way of enjoying parties. Like they enjoy parties and like they throw up. Oh, okay.
They wanted to throw a big party.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Wow. So tell me about this, right? I mean, tell me the story behind, like, of course, you started meeting and then you got married, apparently. But then, how did this whole decision? Because I'm sure it's a lot of pressure as well, especially in this generation. I think we take lots of pressure when it comes to marriage, wedding. So I want to understand how was your mindset and how was his mindset and how things happened for you. Like, who told, like, yeah, let's get married, or who was more skeptical? Tell me about it.
So like I said, we were not planning on getting married ourselves. It was our parents who were like, why don't you guys get married? It's gonna be easier. You guys can both like live together in Hyderabad. It's gonna be like wonderful. And we were like, okay. And
where did this happen? When was this conversation started? Which year?
After the pandemic, 2022.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I remember in 2022 I was heartbroken.
Oh.
Yeah, I was heartbroken because one of my pets got missing. Yeah, it's not like a romantic heartbreak, but I lost a pet, not to death or something, but then I don't know, something happened. Maybe some few say that they have come taken, theft happens, right? Pet theft. So I think something like that happened. I remember I was like that. If you had called me back then to come visit or come to your wedding, I don't think I would have made it.
Oh.
Yeah, but now I don't have a chance. Are you going to get married again to him?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't know, because your parents just threw a party just because they made a wedding just because they wanted to throw a party.
Yeah, that's what
So
we
if your
feel.
parents wants to throw a party again next time, a bigger one, and if you're
Yeah.
getting married again, let me know.
I
Join
will
this
for
time.
sure.
Right. Yeah, so tell me. So 2022, the initial conversation started.
Happening, yeah, and then we gave it a thought, and we thought, yes, like why not? It's gonna be like we're living with our best friends, and because before that we used to live separately with our friends in different apartments. I was like, yeah, like life would be much more fun if we can like stay with each other every day. Why not? Because otherwise we used to be like struggling to meet each other.
Right.
So we were like, okay, sure, let's get married.
Right. And was anyone skeptical of it? Like any of you?
So when the time was coming closer and closer, obviously, like I was getting cold feet. I was like, oh my god, like is this gonna happen? Like for real? I was getting cold feet. So, but then my brother was like, this happens, don't worry. Like this is pretty normal.
Your brother is married?
Yes, he's
I
married.
know why he said so.
So he's like, yeah, everybody goes through this, so don't worry. This is normal. Like it's gonna be great.
Right. So how's your relationship with your brother?
Growing up, we were really close, to be honest. But he used to stay in a hostel. So whenever he used to come visit, I used to be like super attached to him. And when I actually went to college, also he was the one who dropped me, who came to get my admissions done and everything. He's always been super supportive to like whatever I wanted do. He's like the first person I call if I'm like going through something. I remember this one time in college, I had this exam the next day, and like I take exams pretty seriously and the syllabus was a lot, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Maybe I'm gonna like fail or flunk this exam the next day. And so I called him and I'm like telling him I don't think I'm gonna pass this time and all. So he's always been like a support system.
Right.
So yeah, and now then he got married, I got married, so we don't get to see each other that much now. It's I miss that.
Where is he staying as of now?
In Shimla with my parents. My whole family is in Shimla.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. Nice. Do you miss him?
I do. I miss him. I miss my mom and dad, and I miss my entire family. They're like really fun to be around, I feel.
Right. Now that you said I'm missing my family, whether that they stay, street across, so I just go and talk to them. Yeah, I can't even act as if they're not here. They're very near. Sometimes I don't know. It's just very tricky, when you're with your parents, when you're with your family. When you're apart, you just want to come in, and when you come in, you want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I feel the same. You value them more when they're not around.
Right. No, I value them. If not, my father wouldn't give me the car. No, I love you, Dad. He actually owns the cars. Yeah, so I have to. I'm pretending I don't love you. Yeah, I love you. Sorry. Yeah, but then having said that, I understand when it comes to love, right? It's like a decision that you make, right?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, you can never be sure of something.
Yes.
When it comes to love, especially, it's just that intuition that you get in, and you just make sure that you be with that person. Because what happens is when we talk about peace of mind, it's basically peace from mind, because our minds are basically chattering always. Like it always tells you that, Niharika, you can do this. Niharika, you could have taken a left, you should have taken a right. Niharika, don't come out today. All of that. This is what your mind speaks to yourself. And I think when we talk about peace of mind and we find it in a person, it's basically that person coming and making this chatter shut. This monkey chatter that goes on for hours and hours and hours, and you doubt yourself sometimes, or you're not happy sometimes. I think that's when a place humbles you, that's when a person humbles you. And when you get that person who can actually bring you that peace, I think you have to just get married.
Wow.
And
so
yeah, and I think by far I've gotten my peace, not so much. I might get it in the future, but yeah, once I get it, I'm sure I'll get married as well, just like you. You were 25, I think, when you got married.
Yeah, 25, 26.
Yeah,
Yes.
so my age is approaching, so I'll call you. Yeah, so I think it's because of peace, most of the times, and I think it's a very very, very subtle emotion when you actually have that person around. It's like, no matter what, I'd want to spend some time with you. I think I'd be okay. I think when you get that feeling, but then again, it should be mutual, no?
It should be, yes, of course.
If it's not mutual, then I don't know, like calling the phones, please, I want you, and stuff like that. Pretty bad. So tell me, how do you, I'm sure you have not heartbroken. You told you have broken hearts, but you did not. Were you heartbroken by any chance?
No.
Okay. The title of this podcast would be "Have Broken Many Hearts." That's going to be the title of the podcast.
Okay.
So you don't know, you did not break a heart. You were not heartbroken, right? Yeah, so you wouldn't know. But let's say you got heartbroken, what do you think you would do to actually come out of it? Because I'm sure your friends must have crying, and lots of drama happens whenever there's a breakup, right? So tell me, let's say you were hypothetically heartbroken, what would you do?
I think first I would release my emotions by crying, of course. And then I feel when something bad happens to me, like if I'm heartbroken or something that makes me stronger, I feel like, I get in that zone that, okay, I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone to do anything for me. Like, I'm independent. I'll do this, I'll do that. Like, I'll show them like what they're missing. I get in that kind of zone, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm going to show them what they're missing. So
really?
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice. It just reminds me of me as well. So let's say there's a certain thing that I really want to do, or something that I really wanted to happen, and it doesn't happen, and let's say I'm down. What I do is I have this concept of awakening my alter ego.
Okay.
Right? So whatever I am right now, I believe that we are all human beings and we have our own limitations, right? So whenever certain thing happens which is beyond my control and would be something that's beyond my limitations, I sleep and I call that guy back. I like, what, this is too much for me. I don't think I can handle this. I want you to take care of this. And that's when I awaken my alter ego. Whatever limitations I have, I make sure that my alter ego doesn't have them. So I've pictured myself, let's say I'm emotional, I'm full of emotions, let's say. I make sure that my alter ego is emotionless. Let's say I am intelligent, I make sure that he is super intelligent. So let's say I can wake up at 4 a.m, I can work till 12 hours and all of that. I make sure that this guy wakes up and he doesn't sleep until the work is done.
Okay.
So I have that phenomena with me. So whenever I get tired or whenever I get low and I think that I am not able to do this activity or this certain thing, I call him and I'm telling you, whenever you have that kind of notion and you have tuned your mind, I know it's very weird to say this, but if you actually can tune your mind to tell yourself that these are your limitations, but you can also have another personality of yours who doesn't have these limitations. Imagine what can that person achieve. And then I bring that person in.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's like I'm me, but at the same time I'm not me. I'm taking help of someone who just happens to be very superior to me. That's how I do. I don't believe in. I mean, of course, I was, I guess, like you when I was, when I was 2 to 3 years back, where I was like, I'll show them what I am. But it's more, I think, when you grow, I'm sure, we all grow in our different stages. You would also understand at one point of time that when it comes to life and when people are not permanent and things are not permanent, I think you start letting go. Right. Letting go of grudges, letting go of anger, letting go of so many things that you wouldn't think that you would let go of. But then I think one thing that you shouldn't let go is love. Other than that, any other things you can actually let go. Love, it can come from your romantic partner, from your parents, from your siblings and all of that. So I think apart from that thing, you would grow, to a certain level where you can start letting go of things like this. But then there's also bright side to what you mentioned, because that's when you get motivated, because I think this is where we all come from, because certain things which doesn't happen our way, I think we get demotivated. Right, we take back, and I think for us to again be okay with it, to make peace with it and come forward and work, I think that's where the problem starts in, because we might get into different addictions as well. We might not function properly, but your way, I think that's much more motivation. That's like instant, like I'll show them and then you just go on and try to prove yourself, which is also a good thing, and it has own pros and cons, but at the same time, wow, that's great for someone like you to actually do this. And did this ever happen to you, like did this emotion ever happen to you, that I want to show you what I am? And not doesn't have to be a romantic one, but other than that?
Yeah, there was this childhood friend of mine, and something happened. We had a fight, and then we were not in touch after that. So I was kind of heartbroken in a friendship way.
Right.
So I mean, I was like obviously sad about it, but then I was like, if someone doesn't want to stay in my life, I cannot like force them to. Obviously, it's their decision. It's like whatever they want, it's best for them. So then I got in the zone that, okay, I'll work on myself, like I'll do what I do best, and if then they want to be friends with me, then of course they'll come back.
Right. First thing first, heartbroken when it comes to friendship is altogether a different ball game. Right, it's very weird to be having that someone who you're very comfortable with. You can share anything, you can be anything. Right, today you are Queen Victoria, and then tomorrow you're like a slumdog millionaire or something like that, or a slumdog, to be honest. You can be anything, right? And then when things like this happens, I think we are not ready to. I don't know how. I'm sure you were heartbroken, but were you ready?
No,
can we ever be ready to have a heartbroken, thing with a friend?
No, it really hurts a lot, to be honest. Like when I have friends, I have a very few close friends, and I'm like emotionally invested and really attached to them. And I feel if something wrong happens, I would try my best first to like make things work. I feel having conversations with them, clear out whatever misunderstanding is there, is the best way. But still, if your perspective doesn't match and if you can't make it work, then yeah, it is hurtful, because I feel like I'm losing a person which I really would not want to, and would want them to be in my life.
Right. And I think, as I mentioned, letting go, I think we can, certain things. But then it's difficult. I think it's easier said than done.
Yes.
But yeah, that's okay. So when did this happen?
I was back in school, really a kid, I think.
Okay. Back then.
Yeah, really.
Very.
8th or 9th.
You're not in touch now?
No.
Okay. Do you think they're a message away or text away?
No, actually, they're not on social media.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
They don't have numbers.
Okay. All right. Right, same. I don't have numbers as well. I don't save numbers on my phone. I'm giving you too much information. This never happened. It's like you didn't even ask me. You can literally tell me at every point of time, I didn't ask you, Dev, and I would just. I know,
No,
right?
that's good. It's a two-way conversation.
Yeah, this is a podcast, right? Yeah, so tell me, how are your friends now? You told in the beginning of the conversation that you have great friends now, like, right, they support you and all of that.
Yes.
So how's your friendships? How's everything? Who's your best friend, by the way? Are you supposed to take names, or people will get jealous or heartbroken that she didn't take my name?
Or maybe. But no, I have really good friends from college. There's Atriya, Astha, Hiranmay. They were my roomies also when I was in college.
Astha, Aranya.
Atriya.
I'm sorry.
And Hiranmay.
Oh, Hiranmay. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Very different names.
Yes,
Okay.
very different names. They're from different places and everything. But like, they know me inside out.
Okay.
And I feel like whenever I'm with them, it's always a good time. We're on the same wavelength. And after college, obviously it gets hard because life gets tough. Everyone got placed in a different place. Now Hiranmay is moving to the US, so it's gonna be like difficult to catch up with her.
Right.
But whenever we go on trips and everything, I just love doing that with them. It's always a good vibe. But obviously, we are not so much in touch like we used to be in college because life gets busy.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it goes.
Right. I just happened to get this question in my mind now that you spoke about friends. Since you're married too, right, and you had a healthy relationship, I suppose. But like on off, like fighting always, or was it like great?
It was on and off in between.
Okay.
And it happened. It was like such a long relationship. We've known each other for 8 years, so it's bound to happen.
Right. So tell me, since the relationship was for 8 years and now you're married, I want to understand what are the things that you looked after when it came to relationship, because now it's past, because now you're not looking for. So what were the things that you were looking for, and tell me about it.
Looking for in a partner?
Yeah, back then.
I feel the most important thing I thought was needed in a relationship was understanding and caring, like someone who is ready to like talk about what's happening, be more understanding. That's, I think then you can solve any issues that you have or any fights. You won't have so many fights if your partner is open to conversation, listening, understanding. And the second was being kind. I feel if someone is kind to others without you even looking, kindness. That's like a really good trait to have, and that really attracts me. And apart from that, just being curious about things, about life. I love that. I love people who are curious. It makes me feel alive, you know, people who question things.
Right. And are you in a happy marriage as of now?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that. Give us a mantra. I know you're too young to give a mantra, but then what do you think? How do you think a marriage can be a good one, a happier one? Or is happiness a myth?
I mean, you're gonna have your days. Obviously, it's not all roses always. You're gonna have some bad days as well. Maybe one of you is not feeling the best or is going through something, then the other person has to be there to support.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, most of the time, a marriage is basically just living with your best friend. I feel just having someone with you who understands you, who's there like to talk to every day, share things.
Right.
You both basically grow together. So that's very important, that how you're choosing to grow together. Having new experiences really helps, like rekindle your bond. I feel having new experiences is a very good way to also like know someone that you don't know properly, because if you go on a trip with someone, I mean, you'll be in so much different circumstances, sometimes unexpected circumstances
as well.
So that will make you figure out more things about the person that you maybe didn't know before.
If you're staying together at the same place.
Yes, staying together, having new experiences is the best to sustain a marriage, I feel. Otherwise it gets boring, you know.
When it comes to love, I believe that we all are innately, we are bound to fall in love at one point of time or another, but we are bound to, right? And then I believe that you meet so many people in your life, but then there would be this one person who would unlock this mechanism in you. So it's more like you are there and it's like a lock, and then there's this someone with that key to actually unlock this mechanism, because we have it, but then we don't know who has the lock. I mean, who has the key? Like, we are someone who's locked this love inside our hearts, inside our body. And I believe that once, when you're living, there would be that one person who would just come, and then he would or she would suddenly have this lock suddenly would have this key to actually unlock that lock. And once that happens, I think you're bound to fall in love. That's when you allow people to love you. That's when, that happens to you very naturally. So it's like, for me, like, maybe down the line, someone has a lock. And I mean, I have a lock and someone has that key, and maybe one day, just by talking to people or just being me for certain years from now on, I think there would be someone who would just come with this key and be like, you know what, I have this key. And I think that's when things would start. And with fights and arguments, I'm not a relationship specialist, but I also know that happiness is not permanent. But then if you find a person who's willing to or trying to make you happy, or no matter what days you have, I think that's like the best thing you can ever have, right?
Yes. Okay. A relationship is a lot of work. It's not easy. You have to like go through each other's emotions. Maybe someone is feeling a certain way that day, so you have to be there for them.
Right. And coming to arguments, can you please tell me, if you ever had arguments, what's the best way to actually stop an argument, or make sure that you're making up?
I feel when you're in an argument, like it gets heated, you're in a heated conversation, you both are angry, you know, all of that. So I feel instead of like keep on going with that conversation right now, we should like take some time to stop, give a break, like maybe go into different separate rooms, think about it, calm down, and then maybe like talk about it after some time. Because when you're in a conversation, you're angry, you're bound to say things that may be hurtful, that maybe you don't even mean, but because in the moment you're so angry, you might say those things, which is not good. So, and also you're not in a space where you're open to understanding the other person's perspective. When you're angry, you're just like pushing your point of view.
Right.
So just understand, okay, this is not gonna help right now. Just take your time, take a break, I feel, and after some time when you both are calm, you thought about it, then like in a calm space of mind you should talk about this.
Right. You know, I've heard it somewhere, but it's also true that halfway in the argument, you know who's right and who's wrong. Right. Like let's say you and me, we are quarreling. The start of the quarrel, in the first 10 minutes itself, we understand. Let's say I am at fault.
Yeah.
In the start of 10 minutes, I would know that I'm wrong and she's right.
Yeah.
But then after what happens is like now you have this angry face of yours, your ego is there. So you wouldn't want to, and you know, most of the times.
Yeah, you can't admit it.
Right, you don't want to, then. So, you know, it's like that. But for me, I think the best way to actually stop arguments is to first not shout. I think when you're shouting, things go very wrong. You should always make sure that you're not shouting, and if your partner is shouting, please calm them down. Tell them that, hey, it's okay, you know, I'm here, I'm listening. We don't have to shout, we'll just sit and talk. I think confrontation when it comes to argument is one of the best things that you can do. You got to confront. I mean, arguments can happen, it should happen. It is bound to happen, but if you're making sure that the argument is in a more constructive manner, where you both are not shouting, right, where you both are sitting, and of course when you're arguing, people will shout, like someone might shout, and please everyone, whenever your partner is shouting at you, please make sure that you confront it then and there. You tell me, you know, I'm not liking this kind of argument, let's keep our voices down and talk. I think confrontation is something that we don't do much often. Right, we know that this is wrong and I'm hurting, I'm getting hurt because of this particular action of yours as of now. And if you're not confronting then and there, it just happens like a loop, and you know, every time something like that happens, it just keeps on happening. So whenever argument happens and anything of your partner is discomforting you, make sure you're confronting it, you know, then and there. Don't take minutes also to think. Like if someone has said a word, you know, you might never heard that word, because sometimes we abuse as well, right? Not abusing as in not like the bigger ones, I'm talking about like normal ones, or name calling or something like that. Whenever that happens, make sure you're stopping there. You know, hey, let's not do that. I think you don't mean it, but you just said it. I am really hurt that way. We can have an argument, we can sit and have, but it's not the right way. Maybe if at all you confront, things go easier, because I've seen most of the times the voices come in, like they raise their voice and then they shout, and
the
it's
state
like,
of mind
it's like, and then when you're actually confronting then and there, what happens is the other person, they wouldn't understand what to do anymore, right? And they actually take that minute or two to actually reflect, like what they just did. So whenever there's an argument, or whenever you are angry with someone, or someone has said something to you, please confront. I'm giving you a tip. I don't know, I'm giving everyone a tip. No, please confront, right? Even at the slightest of discomfort, please confront, because we are not enemies, right? I mean, your partner is not your enemy, your friend is not your enemy, your parents are not your enemy. There are certain times when your parent also says something to you which you wouldn't like, and if you're confronting it then and there, that you just said this, I did not like, you're my parent, and if you're telling me this, I'm little hurt, I think that would change everything. Right, the minute you confront, and I want you to confront then and there. It's not that the quarrel is done, everything is done, and then you're talking that, you know, you said me this, you shouldn't have, or you told me this, you shouldn't have told me, or something. No, whenever it's an ongoing argument, just tell them, hey, you know, I don't want this word, or I didn't like this, or you're shouting, you know, it's not that good, maybe we can calm down. I think things would happen. So one day what happened, I guess my brother, I have a brother, and then I think we were, you know, kids, right? We fight. And I hit him somewhere, right? I don't know, I just slapped him, I guess, I'm sorry. Because we fight, right? And then he told me then and there, like, brother, don't slap me. He just told me this, and that innocence and that way of confrontation, I think I've never slapped him again. Right, and brothers, I mean, I'm talking about slapping, we choke slammed each other as well, you know, WWE and F. back then. But right now, I think that's when I've learned the power of confrontation, because I was so mad at him. I was very angry. But the moment he told me, you know what, you just slapped, it hurts. When he told me this, I stopped. I think that's the power of confrontation. Please confront with a partner anything. Don't take it for long, and someday you burst out. It's a very bad thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bottle it up.
I know, right?
Yes.
And did this ever happen to you? Like, did you just get burst up anytime with your friends or something?
No, I think with my partner maybe, yes. If there's something going on and we are in a fight, then I remember all the past mistakes or whatever that I didn't tell him about, and everything is like coming out in that moment because I'm angry. So, but yeah, that's not healthy. We shouldn't that's why when I'm angry, I do take a break, calm myself down, and be in that confrontational state of mind, so I can calmly have a conversation. Otherwise, I'm bound to say hurtful things, which is not good.
Okay, but I'm very sorted, I guess, with arguments. She has been my friend for 2 to 3 years now. We never had a fight, did we? We never had. I have this very. Did I? I don't know. Maybe she has complaints as well. Right. So now, since we have spoken about all of these things, there's one thing that I want to know. Whenever we call our guest on our show, the very first question, the most important one, is basically understanding their perspective of life. Right. So if Niharika Sood can, if at all, let me know what's your perspective of life. Please let me know. What do you think life is all about?
That's a very deep question.
I know, right?
I feel life is all about...
Wait, did you think all of our questions or conversations shallow? It wasn't, right?
No, it wasn't. Okay. But I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, okay.
So I feel life is all about exploring new things and figuring out what you align with. There are so many things to do, and there's not enough time to do everything in a life. So it's something that you are passionate about, that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel excited about life. Just pursue that, figure that out, find that out. Just and not even about pursuing. I'm not saying everyone should be just hardworking, hustling and all that. Life is also in the small moments, you know. Just being observant, be present of everyday life. Just basically it's about enjoying. I feel life is about enjoying, and on the way you learn so many different things.
Yeah, so, nice, wait, you're talking about life, right?
Yeah.
Right. I believe that life, just you mentioned, because most of the times we believe that life is all about only following your passion, and that's where the discomfort happens, right? It's not always about your passion, it's not always about chasing something. Life is also in the stillness, right? I mean, just like water can flow, water can fall, water can be still there. I mean, water fall, and then a river, it just flows, and the lake, it just stands still. And an ocean, they're chaos, right, everywhere. I think life is very much like water that we see in our day-to-day life, not day-to-day life, but then in the oceans, in the sea. I think that's how life is. Sometimes it's chaotic, sometimes it's falling, sometimes it's still, sometimes it's running. So I believe, as you mentioned, life is all about being there, in that moment, in that small or big moment, and then never letting anyone decide what a big moment is or what a small moment is. Because the day you actually believe that whatever someone is saying, that is the big moment and that is the small moment, I think you'll miss out on life. Let's say someone says, Niharika, the best part of your life is when you finally have a home of yours or a luxury car of yours. I think when someone defines it for you, you lose out on life. So no matter what, you should never let someone else define what your life should be or how it should be. So I believe the small and big moments that you just spoke of, no one should be defining it for you. You should define it for yourself, and until and unless you're not defining it, don't listen to others. That's a very cruel idea. Sometimes even with self-help books, I believe sometimes I'm not a very big fan of self-help books. I believe that when I read a book and they have written certain things, when I read it, I get influenced. When they say life is, let's say quotations, right? Any quotations that you learn, no pain, no gain. This one quotation. And when we take pain as well, and if we believe that only pain can give us certain gain, that's also wrong, right? So I believe that quotation is wrong. No pain, no gain one. Why not? I mean, why should I go through pain to gain something? Why shouldn't it be easy for us, right? So I question lots of these self-help books. So I believe that whenever you're reading a self-help book, it somehow influences you and you have that answer in your mind. So let's say they have mentioned about love and they've defined love in some certain thing and you've read it. For the rest of your life, you will believe that this is love.
Yes.
Right, because someone said it, right? Someone famous said it. So I really don't believe in redefining or, someone predefining it for me. right? Life, love, relationships, work, profession, passion. I don't want someone to define it for me. I wanted to explore myself, make mistakes, experience all of it, and then let me have my own definition.
That's amazing.
Right? I mean, when you fall into categories and you believe that this is what should be or this is how things should be, I think that's where things go wrong. You should always let yourself to do those mistakes. And of course, don't do bigger mistakes. So don't did you know recently someone hit people, like 2 people died because of someone overspeeding and all of it,
yes,
right?
I know about
So don't do
that.
such mistakes, do like little bit. Those are not mistakes, those are sins. So yeah, you have to also understand you can't do everything as you wish just because you can.
Yes.
Right.
But basically, be the driver of your own life. Don't be on the passenger seat.
Right, perfect.
Which is so strong. To be honest, to follow it does take.
It takes a lot.
courage,
Right, it takes a lot.
Because like we were talking about my journey, I have always been very studious, so my parents thought I'm gonna be like an engineer, like I'm always gonna be in this field. They didn't even imagine me as a model. They never thought that's a possibility. They knew I liked it, but they thought it's more of a hobby that I'm pursuing. So but then now that I'm doing it professionally and it's going great, and I do want to pursue this because I feel it gives me so much happiness.
Right.
So that's what recently I also thought about. So I'm on the same page as you, that I want to be the driver of my own life. I don't want them to tell me how I should lead my life. So because we've only got one life and it's a short one. So yes, do what's best for you.
Right. No, I think that's how you should lead lives, right? I mean, when someone is defining for you things. I mean, it was good when you were a kid and your parents used to buy clothes for you. It was great, right? Till 5th, 6th, I think my parents did my own shopping. My shopping, right? And I was comfortable wearing those green, yellow, whatever they used to bring. But then I think at a certain point of time, you get that cognition where you would know which one looks better at you, which one looks better on you, and which is not so good at you or something like that. And I think just like if you are able to go to a shop or a mall or a store and you're buying your clothes for yourself, why not choose your life for yourself, right? I think that's what I believe in.
Yeah, by default, when we are kids, obviously we are bound to follow what our parents say because we need direction at that time.
Right.
But at some stage, I feel we should have the courage to define our own personality, and I feel like moving away from your house also helps
freedom,
a lot. The freedom to have new experiences and to choose things on your own, make your own decisions. That's very important, and that makes you build a personality that's more in line with who you are on the inside. Otherwise, some people, they tend to be I feel like copies of their parents, you know, because they do exactly the same thing that their parents have done, because their parents advise us based on their experiences that they've had in life. And so eventually, if you're making the same decisions in your life, you're going to be the same. And obviously our DNA and everything is already the same, so nothing new is going to happen. Right.
With parents, I have this bigger problem with parents as well. Most of the parents, they dictate life, right? Now, this is what you should choose, that is what you have to do. There are lots of movies as well, where it explains that, you shouldn't be doing it. So I believe there are very small things, very few things, very important things that parents should teach us. Morals, values, how to drive a car, let's say. If they don't know, please go to a driving school. Don't learn how to drive a car when your father doesn't know how to drive a car. So there are certain things that I'm sure our parents should teach us. Walking, running, talking, values and all of that. I think once they taught us this, I think they should leave to our cognition and cognitive abilities on what we want to do and what not. I think most of the people who are today who are not happy, I think it's because of their lives not being theirs completely. That's the major point. And you ruining your own life, I think you would still have a certain bit of satisfaction that at least you ruined it for yourself. No one did it, so that you don't blame it on others later on.
We usually tend to blame it on parents, but if I look at it from parents' perspective, they're obviously giving us advice. They're coming from a place of love. They're not like...
they become sometimes more skeptical, right? I mean, I understand them as well. And I also tell my friends that, whenever I get a call from people and, they complain about, these are the things that my parents are saying and all of that, I tell them that don't be angry at them or don't be... pity on them. That they are speaking out of their experiences, like that they were limited to their experiences, and sometimes it's just very hard for them to understand you and your experiences, and the best thing that you can do is try to explain them hundreds of times until they understand you, and if they are not understanding, then I don't know, maybe you should tell me something. What if they don't understand?
Then I would say just do your own thing. Eventually they'll understand. You don't want to be held behind if your parents are not on the same page as you, and later regret in life that.
Right.
And then that's when you tend to blame it on your parents that, okay, I wasn't able to do this because of you. So that's no way to live.
Right.
So yeah, take your parents' advice because it's coming out of love, and they have great experience. In some cases, their advice is also legit. They do give nice advice out of their experiences. But in certain things where they might not have experience, like social media, our parents are not so well versed with technology and everything that's growing these days, these new things. So that's tend to make them afraid. So if you know more about something and your parents are not agreeing to it, you can just try it out, I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Great, Asal. I think right now we are in a phase there where we can talk for hours.
Yes.
Right. It's time. Don't sit, Niharika. Don't go and talk. But then, Niharika, right now, do you have any regrets? Like, do you have any regrets throughout your life?
Any regrets? Right now, I feel I'm still at a stage where I can change things. I would say
professionally, personally.
Professionally.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I've always been like a nice girl where I never, like I told you, I was like a very simple kid, like not a naughty kid. So I always used to be okay with what my parents are saying. I used to follow that. So my life has been shaped like that. But now I feel I'm at a stage where I can change things. I've discovered what I want from life. So and I'm not afraid. I am still afraid of taking some steps, but I feel like I don't want to have any regrets. So till now, if I would regret something, is like I wasn't like so well aware of what I want to do, of myself, of my personality. So I kind of blindly went on to study engineering and pursuing a career as a software developer, which is fine. I mean, honestly, it's a great career to have. It's very stable. It's very lucrative as well. But if I can do something that I also am passionate about, then I would want my life to be in that path instead. So, yes, I mean, I'm at a stage right now that I can change things.
And you can figure out for yourself. Right. So, how life would be from here on for Niharika? Like, what are your dreams? What are your goals? How do you want your life to be from here on? What are different things that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to so many things. I feel there's so little time and so much that I want to do, to be honest. Like, modeling is going great, so obviously I want it to go even better going forward. I want to travel to different places to do modeling projects because I love to travel, and especially if it's like combined with modeling, I just like that's the perfect cherry on top. So I want to do that, and also I want to learn Telugu. That's something I'm really excited about. I'll be doing that, and I just want to learn so many different new skills like dancing, and all of that would eventually help me with my acting, theatre and all of that. So right now I see my life going great as a model, and then eventually turning it into acting. That's what I'm excited about. I'll see how that goes.
See, no matter what, I'm telling you again, whenever you're getting into cinemas and you get your first break, you're working on it, I'd want a free ticket.
Yes, sure. Done.
Yeah, please let me know. And I really, all the best for that. I really want it to happen soon, and I'm sure you would have some. Your Koncham Koncham was great.
Thank you.
And if you never understand Telugu, just watch SRK's video. There's this video where he says something in Tamil, and he just says something, and somehow it just resonates with most of the South Indians, despite they hate it sometimes. But yes, you can. I mean, of course, learn Telugu and do it, and I'd love to see you on screen as well. You look great on hoardings on your buildings, and I've seen it, right? And I'm sure you'd do great. And I think you have this. I don't know. There's this very less time that you have been that we spoke to, but then I believe that you're someone with lots of possibilities, positivity, as well as open to learn new things. That's something that I've learned from you. maybe this podcast, this is what my takeaway is. One, keep smiling. I don't know how you're keeping that smiling face of yours. Maybe you should teach us how to keep that smiling face. And then there are lots of possibilities, and I'm sure that you would be okay and open to all those possibilities from here on.
Yes.
So all the best for that.
Thank you.
And I think this is it for the podcast. We really had a great conversation. I really love the conversation. I think this is one of the conversations where I've spoke my heart out as well. I don't speak much. Most of the times I just ask a question and I understand them, and then sometimes reflect very seldom. But I think today I've reflected a lot. I'm sorry if you got bored sometimes.
Not at all.
Okay.
This was amazing. Thank you for having me.
Right. So before we leave, what we'll do is we'll play a small game. Right. As I've mentioned, our podcast is more about impact as well. So we'll play a small game, a blinking game, because I don't know what to play. Like there's very less time, so it's a small game. We can't play a cricket and decide who wins or lost, right? So we'll play a small blinking game. Whoever loses first, whoever blinks first will lose, and whoever loses, they have to perform a philanthropic dare.
Okay.
Right. So it can be feeding food to stray dogs, or volunteering your time at a government school or something like that. All right.
Nice. That's amazing. Yes.
Shall we start then? Do you think you'll win?
No, I don't.
But I think you'll win because you're a model and you look at lights and cameras and you give poses like that, right?
Let's try. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel I'll lose.
Okay,
I already lost.
So,
bad.
Niharika Sood lost. And by the way, I've never lost this game till date.
Oh, that's why you have this game at the
No. See, you tell me. Okay, give me some ideas. What games should I be playing other than this? But you lost, okay? Officially, yeah.
I did.
And then rock paper scissors. I think it would be
Rock, paper.
very mature of me playing here with my guest rock paper scissors. But I actually did.
I'll think of some games for you.
Yeah.
next
Please
time
let
I'm
us
here.
know. Please
We'll
let
play
us know.
something
No,
else.
you would be. I'm sure you will be next time because next time, if at all you're coming, even 1 year down the line, I'm sure you'd learn lots of things. Please come and tell me what did you learn.
Yes.
What are the new things that you opened up to, and how your relationship is going on, and how is it with parents? Are your parents still throwing parties or not? All of lots many things we can catch up for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the big screens. So once that happens, I'll call you again. Don't forget us. Don't forget Bhavya. She likes you a lot. She doesn't show it on her face. She's a very humble, small, sweet girl. Not so small. She's very tall actually. Yeah, just like you. All right then. So since you lost the game, we will do one thing. There are certain dates written, and there are 4 total games. 4 total numbers. So you'll have to choose from 1 to 4.
Okay.
Anything that you tell, the number that you tell, whichever is written there, you'll have to perform that.
Okay. So I choose 1.
Oh, 1. Okay. Wow, great. Suits you. It says volunteer your time in a government school.
Nice.
Right?
Okay. I love
You'll be
that.
down to it?
Yes,
Perfect
I'm
then.
down.
So we will go to a school soon and we'll talk to the kids. You'll have to talk to the kids because you lost. I won't be doing the talking. Last time someone lost, actually they did not speak anything, so I had to do the talking. But then this time you will have to
Okay.
prepare because kids, they're very volatile and they have lots of questions. Be prepared.
Okay.
And let us know whenever you're free. Whenever we are free, we'll schedule it and we'll go to a school and I think this is summer now. I don't think schools are open. What we'll do is we'll do your episode, and then perhaps whenever you have time and schools are open, we'll do the dare. All right?
Yes, looking
Perfect.
forward to it.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.